What if I told you your haircut might be adding 10 years you don't even know about? And what if the right pixie cut could take all 10 of those years right back off instantly? In this video, you'll see the exact pixie shapes, textures, and small tweaks that make women over 50 look lifted, fresher, and more youthful the moment they walk out of the salon. Let's get into it. Let's start off with why this kind of haircuts makes you look younger. Pixies often get labeled as bold or daring, but the deeper reason they make women look younger has everything to do with how they highlight the natural structure of your face. As we move through our 50s, 60s, and 70s, the finer details start to matter so much more. Heavy hair around the face or sharp, dragging lines can pull the features downward and create a tired look. A well-shaped pixie does the complete opposite. It lifts, it opens, and it brightens. That gentle upward focus brings life back into the face and gives you a refreshed appearance that is noticeable in the best way. This little lift becomes even more powerful with age because our features naturally soften over time. Cheekbones do not sit as high, the jawline is not as sharp, and the lower part of the face can settle. When your haircut supports your bone structure instead of weighing it down, it instantly gives you that youthful spark. A pixie is one of the few cuts that can achieve this without needing constant styling or heavy products. Another reason pixies create such a youthful effect is the way they shorten the visual length of the face. Longer styles can sometimes bring attention to the lower half of the face, and that can make the cheeks or jawline appear fuller, especially when natural volume in the hair decreases with age. A pixie keeps everything intentional and balanced. It guides the attention upward toward the eyes and the cheekbones, which are the most expressive and youthful parts of the face. The goal is always a mix of softness, structure, and movement. Softness helps blur any harsh edges. Structure keeps the shape clean and flattering. Movement gives the hair life so it never sits flat or limp. When these elements come together, your whole appearance looks lighter and more energetic, even on days when you feel tired or you are not wearing much makeup. And at the end of the day, that is what most women over 50 are looking for. A hairstyle that looks polished without feeling stiff. Something easy that still feels intentional. A cut that makes you look fresh without looking like you tried too hard. A well-designed pixie does all of that naturally, which is why so many women discover that it brings back a sense of confidence they did not expect. Alright, now here is where things start to get interesting, because this is the kind of pixie that quietly works in your favor every single day. Soft layers have a way of bringing the face back to life in a really gentle, believable way. They create movement without giving the hair that puffy or overstyled look that many women want to avoid. When the hair moves naturally, it gives off a feeling of lightness and energy. It signals softness, which is something that tends to look more flattering as we get older. Heavy or stiff hair settles around the face and can make everything look a little tired, even if the rest of your look is polished. Many women over 50 start noticing that their hair behaves differently. Natural volume changes, the texture shifts, and the overall density is not quite the same as it used to be. Soft layering helps adjust to those changes without fighting your hair's natural tendencies. These gentle layers work beautifully for fine or medium textures because they create lift without forcing it. A lot of women deal with hair that collapses halfway through the day. This kind of pixie helps the hair stay awake and lifted from morning to night. Straight hair gains extra texture and a bit of bounce, which keeps it from lying flat. Wavy hair becomes easier to shape, smoother around the edges, and far more manageable without much effort. The overall effect is a fresh, easy, and carefree look that still feels intentional. It has that natural lift that opens up the face in a very flattering way. What makes the softly layered pixie even more appealing is how many different face shapes it complements. Oval, round, and heart-shaped faces benefit the most from this cut because of how the layers frame the cheeks and soften the jawline. This framing guides the attention upward toward the eyes, which is always a great focal point for mature women. The right layers can also soften areas that may have become more defined or more relaxed with age. It creates balance without looking overly styled. Women who want a youthful shape that still feels feminine tend to love this pixie because it does not rely on heavy styling. It naturally brings softness where you need it and structure where it matters. It is one of those cuts that quietly makes you look more awake, more lifted, and more refreshed without demanding much from you in return. Now that you know why soft layering creates such a gentle and youthful finish, let's move into a pixie shape that brings in more structure and definition. Tapered sides have a way of slimming the face the moment the hair is shaped. As we move through our 50s, 60s, and beyond, it is very common for the jawline and neck area to soften. This is completely normal, but it can make certain hairstyles feel heavier or less flattering than they used to. A tapered pixie addresses this issue immediately. By keeping the sides closer to the head, the haircut creates a cleaner, more defined outline, which lifts the face and highlights its natural angles. This is a simple adjustment that can completely transform the way your haircut looks and feels. Many women notice that when bulk is removed from the sides, the overall profile sharpens instantly. The haircut gives the illusion of structure and shape, even if the jawline or lower face has softened over the years. At the same time, the taper helps draw attention upward toward the cheekbones. When the hair no longer competes with your face, the eyes, cheekbones, and natural bone structure become the focal points. This is what gives the pixie its youthful effect. Once you see how clean and lifted the profile looks, it is easy to understand why this style feels so rejuvenating. Another reason the tapered pixie is so appealing is how it works with thicker or fuller hair. Many women with dense hair struggle with extra volume along the sides, which can create an unwanted triangular or heavy appearance. This cut takes away that extra weight while adding clean contour and balance. Straight hair gains a neater shape that holds all day, and wavy hair becomes more manageable because the taper reduces flaring and keeps the layers in place. The result is a polished, put-together look that feels effortless but still intentional. This pixie shape is particularly flattering for square and round face shapes. The taper gives the face a more sculpted appearance without needing makeup or heavy styling to create definition. It subtly emphasizes your natural features while softening any areas that may have changed with age. The definition along the sides brings a quiet lift to the overall silhouette, which makes the face look more youthful, balanced, and refreshed. It is a cut that manages to look stylish, modern, and age-appropriate all at the same time, which is why it is a favorite among women over 50. Now that we understand how tapering can lift and define, let us move into the pixie that adds height and fullness from the crown, creating a completely refreshed and youthful silhouette. A lifted crown is one of the fastest and most noticeable ways to refresh and brighten the entire face. When the crown has gentle height, it naturally guides the eye upward, creating a subtle but powerful lifting effect. This is not about creating big, stiff hair or an exaggerated look. It is a small, strategic amount of elevation that makes the head shape appear lighter, more balanced, and more youthful. Many women over 50, 60, and beyond notice that as the years go on, their hair gradually loses volume at the back. This loss of fullness can make even a well-cut pixie appear flat or less lively. A lifted crown brings that natural volume back in a way that feels effortless and flattering. One of the best things about this style is how quietly it works. It adds structure without stiffness, giving the back of the head a soft, rounded shape that immediately improves the profile. The hair no longer looks settled or flattened, which is a common concern for women with fine or thinning hair. Even a small amount of lift can make the hair look fuller, healthier, and more alive. The effect is subtle but powerful. It adds a fresh, youthful impression that can make the whole face appear brighter and more energized. Another advantage of lifting the crown is how it elevates the entire haircut. When the crown has height, the rest of the pixie falls into place more naturally. The shape becomes intentional and well-proportioned. Straight hair benefits from added dimension, while wavy hair stays controlled, making it easier to style and maintain. The lifted crown works for almost every face shape because it elongates the upper part of the face, balances the silhouette, and keeps the overall look open and bright. For women who notice that their hair often looks flat from the side or loses its shape during the day, a lifted crown provides a reliable and lasting solution. It maintains structure without the need for constant use of styling products or heat. This small but strategic boost brings the entire haircut together, making it look polished, fresh, and noticeably more youthful. It is one of those adjustments that feels simple but delivers a dramatic improvement in how the hair complements the face. Now that we have added lift and structure, let us focus on the finishing touch that softens the face and frames your features for a balanced and naturally youthful pixie cut. Face framing pieces are one of the most reliable and effective ways to soften the overall look of a pixie cut. They gently blur sharper lines and guide attention toward the eyes, which is often the brightest and most expressive area of the face for women over 50, 60, and beyond. When the hair subtly directs the eye upward, it instantly makes the entire look feel more open, balanced, and refreshed. This small adjustment can create a surprisingly noticeable effect that enhances your natural features without feeling forced or overstyled. These face framing pieces come in many different forms to suit your personal style and face shape. Some women prefer light, wispy strands that brush softly around the cheeks, creating a delicate, airy effect that moves naturally with the hair. Others enjoy a gentle side sweep that glides across the forehead, adding movement while guiding attention toward the eyes. A soft fringe is another excellent option, particularly for those looking to soften the upper half of the face or to balance a taller forehead. Each variation has the same underlying goal: to provide a sense of softness that offsets any harsh lines and keeps the face looking harmonious and balanced. Even though it is a subtle change, the effect is immediately visible and flattering. The value of face framing pieces increases as the face changes with age. If your forehead has become more pronounced or your jawline feels stronger and more angular than it used to, these strands can help even out the proportions and create a smoother, more harmonious look. They can also make the cheeks appear slightly lifted and help draw attention upward, which adds to the overall youthful effect. For women experiencing thinning hair around the temples, the right framing pieces can provide gentle coverage without feeling heavy, flat, or artificial. They create the appearance of fuller, healthier hair and help soften the hairline for a more polished finish. Face framing also improves the overall structure of the pixie cut itself. When paired with a short haircut, these pieces prevent the style from feeling too sharp, exposed, or severe. Mature women often appreciate this balance because it adds a touch of femininity and softness without compromising the clean, modern aesthetic of a pixie. It is a subtle enhancement that quietly elevates the style, making it look more intentional and flattering from every angle. Short hair can be one of the most transformative ways to look modern, fresh, and confident at any age. The right pixie shape accentuates your best features, lightens the overall appearance, and gives your face a naturally lifted, youthful energy without requiring extra effort, products, or time. For women over 50, 60, and beyond, a well-chosen pixie can feel liberating and empowering. If you have been thinking about trying a new haircut or refreshing the pixie you already wear, this is the perfect time to choose the shape that enhances your natural beauty, suits your hair texture, and fits your lifestyle. The right cut can make you feel confident, vibrant, and effortlessly polished every single day. So here is the question: which pixie style feels right for you? And if you liked this one, you will enjoy this next video waiting for you.